Hey guys, in this lesson we're going to be looking at ammo and being able to collect ammo crates and being able to stop yourself from firing. So if you've not completed the projectiles tutorial or the heads up display and collectibles tutorial, some of this won't make sense, so make sure you do that first. I've got a guy and I've made it so that whenever I press space it adds the bullets from another scene. What we need to do is we need to restrict the amount of bullets that it has. So what we need to do really is to click on our gun, which isn't this thing, it's actually the empty there. Because what we've done is we've said to shoot whenever we press the space bar, it's going to add an object. Let's add some conditions to that. So just like when we did double jumps, we're going to this, add a game property. And we'll call it ammo. And again, it should be an integer. And what I'm going to do is instead of starting at 1, I'm actually going to start it this time at 10. So we start with 10 ammo. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to make it so that I'm going to add a property. And we'll call this ammo down. And we're going to add to the property -1 every time you shoot. So all this is going to do now is whenever we press space to fire, it's going to shoot and it's going to knock 1 off of this property. Now that's fine, apart from the fact that when the property gets to 0, it's just going to go to -1, -2. It isn't going to do anything unless we use it as a sensor. So let's add a property sensor. And what we're going to do for this property sensor is we're going to say, again, it's going to be an interval for the property. We want it to work if the ammo is between 1, you need to have at least 1 bullet, and as many as possible really. So it needs to be above there. And if we wire it to there, what that means is now you have to press space and you have to have at least 1 ammo in order for it to shoot. But every time you do shoot, it's going to knock 1 off of your 10 ammo. So let's have a look how that works. We should be able to shoot 10 times and then it stops, which is great. So what we need to do now is we need to make it actually count down on our score counter as well. So again, you need to have completed the other tutorials, but what I've done is if you go to heads up display, I've created this heads up display, whereas if I press P, what you'll notice is I've put just like a red cylinder in the middle, which is going to be my aiming crosshair. I've put a cube for the ammo crate that just rotates, and I've put a piece of text in there. Now you notice that it looks quite cell shaded. That's because there isn't any lamps in the scene. So if I add a point lamp and raise it up slightly, you'll now notice that I get all the shadows, and that looks pretty good. So doesn't actually do anything. What we need to do for this text is we need to set it to 10 because that's the ammo that we start with. You can see there's going to be a problem if we get above 10 ammo here, so we might have to shift things across usually. And what we're going to say for this is if it receives a message called ammo down, then actually we can't do anything because we need to add a text game property for it. Not a game property, a text game property. Remember, set it to integer. And now if we add a property, we'll call these ammo down as well. Once you put all these tutorials together, it's going to get really complicated unless you label everything. And it's going to add to our text -1, just the same as it does in the last section. So what should happen then is if this receives a message, it should go down. So coming back to our level, it will shoot whenever we press space, providing we've got enough ammo. But with this still selected, let's add a message, and we want to send it to the text. In fact, I think I've renamed the word ammo. So let's just have a look whether I did do that. The text there, if I go on there, I've called it ammo. So instead of text, it says the word ammo. So just be wary of that. So it should say text, but I've put it as the word ammo, and it's going to be called ammo down. And we wire that again because we want it to send the message as well. So if we go into our camera, we'll use this camera for now. That sets it nicely. So if we go, we've added all the overlay scenes. So if we, sorry, I've already done that. So if we try this now, by selecting the gun, and we go in the camera and we press P, that doesn't overlay it yet. So this is what I was getting back to before. What we need to do is we need to go into our camera, which we're going to use this camera just here, and we're going to add always a scene, and we need to add an overlay scene, and it needs to be our heads up display. Now we've got it. Now you can see the dot is actually, the crosshair is in the middle of the guy in the center of the screen, but if we swap cameras, then you can see that looks better. The ammo thing might have been better on the other side because obviously we've got the gun, but if I press fire, you can see that the bullets are going down. And when you get to 0, it stops because we can't shoot anymore. That is awesome. So what we need to do now, in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull the gun over, because when we play that, now the gun's in a different place and that looks loads better. Right, so what we want to do now is we need to add some sort of ammo box. So we're going to go to create or add. We're going to add a cube, and I'm going to put it there. I'm going to scale it down. Now you'll want to edit this and make it look awesome. You definitely need to name it. So I'll call it ammo crate. Need to add a material to it. Just going to make that sort of dark green. You'd want to put all sides on it and all that sort of stuff. You might also want to sort of make it spin very slowly. So I'm going to do that in the Z-axis. When we press play, sort of spins on its own there like that. And you'd certainly want to make it into a ghost so that you're not bouncing off of it. So what do we want to do to it? Well, for this crate, we want to make it so that if it collides with our player, and you can see there's a problem here now because our player hasn't got a material. So let's quickly give him a material, even if it's just white or grey. Let's call it player 1. If I click back on the ammo crate and go back in here now, I can find my player 1 material. So if it collides with player 1, then it wants to edit object and it wants to end object. And you'd want to label all of these obviously as well, give them a decent name. So if you crash into it, it basically just disappears, which is what you want. But it doesn't do anything to our ammo. So what we want to do is on our guy is we want to say, or our player, we want to say if we collide with the ammo crate, then we want to send a message. And remember our text, I renamed it ammo, so I want to send a message to the text that's called ammo up. I'm going to put a lowercase a there because it's case sensitive, ammo up. And all I'm going to say is I'm going to go into the heads up display and I'm going to say that if you get a message that says ammo up, then we want you to, for the property, we want you to add to your ammo. Well, how much do you want to add to it? I want to give him 10. So you get 10 ammo every time you hit an ammo crate. So we're going to add 10 to it. So if we go back into the game now, play it. So So we start firing, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 6 left. We hit the crate, and we've now got 16 ammo. The problem is, as soon as I get to 10, it stops firing. The reason why is the score is just cosmetic. It was actually, if you remember, guys, if we go back onto this, it is this that counts down how many sort of bullets we've got. So what we want to be doing is we also want to send another message. And we want to send a message to our gun, which is this thing. And we'll call it, I'm going to call it AU, so it's not the same as ammo up, but it means the same thing, so I'm not confusing it. I'm going to join that together so it sends that message. And all I'm going to say for this is, if you get a message that says AU, again, label all of these guys and girls, then what we're going to do is, for our property, we're going to add to our ammo 10. Okay, fire 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hit the box, got 15 ammo, but we can now fire all the way through to 0, and then it stops again. Because you've done all the programming, guys, you've done all the hard work, what you can now do is you can duplicate your ammo boxes. So if I fire, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, stops firing, get some more, fire, get some more, fire. Awesomeness level 337, that is amazing.